Imagine you have played like an insane madman in the event and finally got your reward, the HMS Renown, and you do this. Yes, yes, yes. No. Oh god. Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder aboard the HMS Renown 72 in its 1944 configuration. This is a first impressions video about the rank 5 British battlecruiser of battle rating 7.0 that is the non-premium main reward for sailors in the Summer Extreme Event 2023. Before I talk about the ship, I have to say two things. First of all, the video that you see, the scenes are mostly cherry picked, of course, and I haven't made a video in quite a while, so sorry for my absence. But I basically was in on three vacations. The first one was in Austria, where I was, amongst other things, paragliding. Then I was in Paris, where, amongst other things, I attended a Rammstein concert, which was epic, by the way. And then I was at the Wacken Open Air in northern Germany, which is the biggest heavy metal festival in the world, and where I was, amongst other things, in a 12-hour epic traffic jam. And I have so many stories to tell. I have so much footage in terms of videos and pictures that I would like to share, but only if there is some interest. So let me know in the comment section down below if I should make a separate video about my vacation time. So now let's finally talk about the HMS Renown in its first impressions video. And it's a mixed bag, to be honest. While I absolutely love the design of the ship, the World War I battlecruiser hull, with its modernization, with the Tower of Doom superstructure, with how the secondaries are aligned, it's a beautiful ship. Then we come to the guns, and they are also both good and bad. The good thing is those are the really reliable 15-inch 42 BL Mark I cannons, which have a lot of penetration and a lot of boom. The problem is you have really bad gun handling with only 2 degrees per second turret traverse, and you only have 6 of those guns with a 30-second reload. And that is the main reason why I would put this ship at 6.7. First of all, the HMS Glorious, which has paper for armor and no AA, has 4 of those guns at battle rating 6.0. And it's not really good for its, well, DPM. The HMS Hood has 8 of those guns, is equally fast, and has also good armor, but has 8 of those guns. HMS Marlborough, which has slightly better penetration at 10 kilometers, has 10 guns at battle rating 7.0. The German SMS Bayern has 26 seconds for 8 of those 15-inch guns or 38-centimeter guns. The US standards, the USS Nevada and the USS Arizona, have more DPM than you, despite 40-second reload. And the biggest discrepancy is with the IJN Fuso, IJN Hyuga, and IJN Ise, which have, all 3 of them, 12 14-inch guns, which are not that far off in terms of the penetration power. And you do not have any sort of special dispersion pattern, if you will. So sometimes you just hit the ships not at all. And very often you hit them where it doesn't really hurt that much, where you have basically an overpenetration going through the superstructure, through the bow, or just bouncing off the round part of the barbette, the very angled one, if you will. So you have really good guns, but not enough of them. You lack the DPM. So I mostly concentrated on enemy capital ships because I did not really have that much of a problem penetrating them, and the boom of enemy capital ships like battle cruisers and battleships is just more satisfying than detonating yet another USS Des Moines, right, or Newport News, which, to be honest, the Scharnhorst is good enough with its 11-inch guns and has 17 point something seconds to reload from more guns with much better gun handling. So you get a rough idea where the HMS Renown stands. Then we come to the armor, which is also a mixed bag. First, the main, it's a distributed armor scheme. The armor layout is very old. The barbette is only 178 millimeters, so heavy cruisers can punch through that, and even at range. And you have 230 millimeter for the turret face, a bit angled, so it's better in that aspect. Then we have the deck, which is at its thinnest over the machinery with 25 millimeters. Then you have 63 millimeters and 76 millimeters of deck plating. Over the magazines, it's 102 millimeters. And then we have a main belt, which goes from the middle of the rear turret to the middle of the most front turret with 230 millimeters, which is not really that good, to be honest. It's a bit inclined downwards, so it helps in theory versus plunging fire, but the problem is that it's not good enough versus capital ship guns even at range. Over the magazines, we also have a turtleback of 102 millimeters at the 40 degrees of angling for both the front and the rear turret. And over the magazine, it is then only 51 millimeter stick with somewhere between 76 and 51 degrees of angling, and that's just not good enough. And yeah, that's all that it takes. We have some more armor before the front turret of 102 millimeter, and in the rear 76 millimeters. So at best, if you angle, which I recommend you not doing, angle forwards, because then you punch through the 100 millimeters and only have a 19 millimeter deck plating. What does this turtleback mean? Well, first of all, the way that the armor is laid out, it's really vulnerable to plunging fire, really vulnerable, even to heavy cruiser fire that can go through if it hits the right spot and kills your propulsion. The magazine area is better protected, but also vulnerable to even 12-inch guns at range, like old style US 12-inch guns from the North Dakota, or I think at one point a Wyoming killed me, right? And that's a bit of a problem. So keep moving, go forwards and backwards, try your luck there. Then we come to the AA. First of all, as I said, the heavy AA, the 114 millimeter guns, despite their high rate of fire of 3 seconds, and despite there being numerous 10 per broadside, you do not get proximity fuse, so that's a bit of a problem, and the time fuse is just not good enough in my opinion. You have a lot of 40 millimeters, you have even octuple mounts, 3 of them, a single quadruple mount, and a ton of single and twin 20 millimeter mountings. They can help. The torpedoes, 8 533 millimeters, are in fixed mountings, mounted broadside. They don't have the range, nor the speed, nor the warhead to be really useful. Never scored a hit with them, and when you get that close, you have other problems. The ship is fast with 57 kilometers per hour speed, which is really nice. But your funnels are vulnerable. The machinery space is very vulnerable to plunging fire of all sorts. Even HE in theory can punch through, or base use, or sap rounds just going off above the machinery space, punching with the charge through the armor. So you very often lose your speed. It's a beautiful ship. It has some style, no doubt about this. But the effectiveness in battle, you see magnificent explosions and one-shots like these, and when they happen, they're really satisfying. But what I didn't show was the salvo after salvo after salvo not hitting where you want to hit. And when you're unlucky, then it bounces or it doesn't go through, or if you're really unlucky, you encounter a Scharnhorst that knows what it's doing. The 15-inch guns have a mean punch, and it's all about making it work. So, should you put a talisman on the ship? Well, if you have patience, if you use the right spawn technique, etc., etc., then the ship can grind you rank 4 and 5 and future rank 6 vehicles for a reasonable price. But it's not really a secret wonder weapon. That's what I want to say. And that's all that I have to talk about, because I then was really annoyed when this server disconnect happened. So that's all that she wrote for me today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Please give this video a like, give it a subscribe if you want to see more. And as usual, we will see each other on the battlefields, in the skies, and on the waves of War Thunder, if I don't suffer from server disconnect.